Hello. So, I may have done something for reasons, but, again, not sponsored. I've purchased all my own products here, but, I got an advertisement, and it turned out Arteza came out with a set of acrylic gouache. Now, as far as I know, there are only 4 companies that make acrylic gouache, including now Arteza. So Arteza came out with a 36 color set, which, oh my gosh, acrylic gouache is really expensive because for the longest time there were only 2 companies until recently. The 3rd company is Liquitex. And from all reports, it's just acrylic. It's exactly the same as their acrylic paint. There is no difference. Why are we buying this? So I have not bought Liquitex, even though that is more in my price range. But the other 2 companies that make acrylic gouache, who came up with acrylic gouache literally down the street from each other, are 2 of the most expensive ones to get paints out there, which is Turner and Holbein. So that's it. 4 companies make acrylic gouache, which is a hybrid between acrylic and gouache. You'll see a lot of videos where teachers will say, don't accidentally get acrylic gouache. You need regular gouache. It's so hard to get acrylic gouache. You don't accidentally get it. It is expensive. Even this was pretty expensive in comparison to other Arteza stuff, though probably the most inexpensive one got there. But I'm a little bit excited because I was but I had nothing to compare it to. So I looked out there, and there are lots of colors of acrylic gouache. Lots and lots of colors. Holbein and Turner make a ton of different colors. But it's really interesting. So this is their school set of acrylic gouache for Holbein. It comes with their little pamphlet, which you can buy in all kinds of stuff, but it's really hard to get, and it's really expensive. Turner is pretty much known for their aqua gouache, or acrylic gouache, but Turner paint is super expensive, and really hard to get in the United States. Holbein is way easier to get in the US than Turner is. But I figured if I didn't at least try, then I wouldn't be able to really, test this Arteza and know if it's any good or different. I have Arteza acrylics that I use and Arteza gouache that I use, so why not acrylic gouache? Okay, but so I had to get some other sets to compare, honestly, and I'm not going to go deep down the hole like I did with regular gouache. There's not really a point. There's only 4 companies, and while there's tons of colors and colors that I might get separately, which I might have, but this is their school set, which was in comparison fairly inexpensive, but still pretty expensive. It comes with carmine, scarlet, orange, a couple of yellows, some greens, and I think these are out of order. This is lemon yellow, and this is green, light green, sky blue, violet, jet black, a white, of course, and burnt sienna. So that's their school set. Looking online, and this is pretty much what I'm able to get for acrylic gouache from, unless I buy the tube in US, which is pretty expensive, but I will say I was at a store and they had some, and they had these 3 colors, these ash colors, which I love, the ash blue and ash green that I have in a regular Holbein gouache. So, and they had ash rose and ash yellow, so I picked them up as well. I did see this pastel and I decided not to let it go. So it has this nice set of pastel colors as well. And I thought that would be pretty good. And I was like, but I'd really like to try Turner. Turner makes, again, acrylics, oils, gouache, acrylic gouache. Actually, I don't know if they make regular gouache, but they're the ones that pretty much came up with acrylic gouache as far as I understand. But I did find this smart set of aqua gouache of Turner. And what was kind of cool about this is it came with a palette and some brushes. So again, and this is kind of their school set, just like the Holbein school set. So I thought this would be good to compare. It comes with 2 tubes white. It actually comes with a little cloth, which is kind of cool. And then it also comes with this palette cleaner, which is interesting. Acrylic is notoriously hard to clean off palettes. You have to do a lot of scrubbing, so that's kind of interesting. But then it also comes with 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 colors with 2 tubes of white. Pretty much quite a few less colors than the Holbein set, but it comes with all the tools and stuff because, again, it's a school set, which is interesting that they sell these as school sets. And I don't know if that means like it's like these are like student. It doesn't mean they're necessarily student grade. These aren't student grade. These are their actual acrylic gouache, but they are set up for students if that is like the color a student needs. So, and it comes in a bunch of, there's a 12 set and a 24 set. This is the 45 set, which had a lot of bad reviews because it said, oh, it came dry or it came hard. But this is like their whole Japanese color line. So similar to Iridori gouache and like say Gansai sets. These are their Gansai colors is what I would call them, because you see these colors in Gansai and the different companies that make Gansai, like Kuretake Gansai, you see these colors. And that's what kind of what the Iridori set was, these Japanese colors from nature in Holbein gouache. But Turner had this, and I was like, oh, and it's an acrylic gouache, and I want to try it. And it's all these beautiful colors, which they are not dried up at all. So there's some metallics in here, I believe. It's a little hard to say. Everything is in Japanese, I think, except for like, yeah, it like has the color. Oh no, it does have English on the other side, which is kind of cool. That's cool. So maybe I'll be able to figure it out. But not two sets, but box 1 and box 2. It's a 24 and a 21 set. And I think this is just a filler, yeah, because so these are all the colors, and this has quite a few metallics in it. Oh, I want to figure out. And it comes with pastels and everything else, but I just opened this up, and similar to their other packaging, though the tubes are quite big for acrylic gouache compared to, say, getting their gouache sets. They're similar to their acrylic set, but 36 colors. And I'll do it this way so you can see. 36 colors. And I don't know if they're doubled up on any. I see 1 white already. Mars brown, burnt umber, space black, beige, tomato red, rose, and an Egyptian blue. Like, why is Egyptian blue? They're all wet. So I don't know. Arteza always packages them in weird order. But that's it. That's everything that comes in the Arteza box. So, yeah. Acrylic gouache, y'all. Arteza, why did you do this to me? These are pretty inexpensive because Arteza is pretty expensive, but their stuff has been really good. I really actually really like their paint. Surprisingly. Honestly, if you want a low-cost paint, go with Arteza. But if you really can afford it, go with My Artscape. I really like their paint too. So, yeah, I'm going to figure out the best way to swatch these and do some painting with them and go from there. I imagine I won't use all these colors right away together, but we'll figure it out. And why not? Why not try acrylic gouache? At least I can't go the kits are not there. I can't go too deep into the weeds without buying single tubes, and single tubes are pretty prohibitively expensive. So we'll see how much I like this and see what I decide to do with it in the long run, because I have some things. But I'm actually really these are supposed to be super pigmented and just some beautiful colors. J Red Brown. Maybe I'll say J because they're Japanesque deep pink. So really excited. to see where this goes. And I'm going to be swatching and painting with acrylic gouache. Holbein Acrylic Gouache was created in the 80s. They were the first company to do acrylic gouache. And on the acrylic gouache side of things, I decided to start with them first. 18 school set colors. These often come, there's school set or special sets, but as well as this 12 set of pastels. I also have a couple of tubes that I got at one of my local stores here of the ash colors. Now this is by no means, I think there's like 100 and some colors now. There were 80 when I first read about these in the book from the 80s that I have about gouache. But I'm going to swatch these today, and then I am going, and I actually have one more color coming because I ordered a sepia color. Eventually at some point I'll have to get some grays, I guess. But anyway, I'm going to swatch and we'll see how it goes. I'm being a bit brave. This is not, I'm not doing any classes. I haven't been able to find a class. I found a lot of people like that do kind of like the kind of paint with me's where they just paint really quick. Or at least mine aren't really paint with me's. I'm not really explaining anything. I don't think anybody should paint with what I'm doing. I'm very amateur, right? But I'm going to be using this to swatch. I actually found these recently and ended up really liking them. Well, I still have my swatch book, of course. If you've seen my previous videos, of course, my handy swatch book. But for acrylic, I decided that would probably not cut it. Mostly because I got my hands on these Painter's Color Diary. Originally I got this watercolor one. And what's really nice about these is it's really nice paper. It also has glassine in between to kind of protect it. But these are the Kuretake Gansai Tambis. I wanted to swatch the whole set out in a good. I use they have a swatch board. You can't get the board, but you can download like it on copy paper. And then I'm really bad at transferring it. I didn't want to do that. So I was trying to figure out what to do because I really wanted to put it on watercolor paper and get a really good swatch on watercolor paper. And I found this, and this actually turned out to be great. You can label everything, put it in the order that you want. And since there's lots of Gansai Tambay colors here, and then I went ahead and did my, my Boko Undos and my Coatman watercolors and Winsor Newton Professionals that I had, and I have one Holbein watercolor. Holbein. It's down here. And you can keep on. You can see the colors organized how you want. See how they work. I really like this. And what's nice too is that you can, you can set up a whole mixing guide on these. And it has everything set out really nicely and orderly, which I really find fantastic. So I found out they also have them for acrylic / oil. So this is the one for oils and acrylic. And they do them in a different set. So I'm going to swatch them out on here. And we'll go ahead and get it set up. I, of course, have my water cups ready to go. A rag. And then for my palette today, so because I've never used, so this is my first time ever using these, so I have no idea what to expect. I've heard, artists really rave about these because of the clear binder that they use, which is different than Turner's, which is the second company to do acrylic gouache. Cloudy binder. I have no idea what Arteza does. Don't know yet. So I'm really not sure what to expect. So I wanted to make sure I had good thick paper. This is really thick stiff paper. And then I was like, well, I gotta paint on something. Well, do I use canvas for these? But I'm seeing people use paper. I wasn't sure. I do have this set of an acrylic pad. You can see it's kind of toned. This is real identical that I got a while ago, but haven't used yet. So I thought I'd use this to paint on when I get to painting. And then again, acrylic. You don't really want to use acrylic on plastic palettes. That's just, if you ever had to scrub a plastic palette with acrylic off it, it takes forever. Porcelain is pretty good because you can at least scrape it off or peel it off if you're lucky. But this is where I really like to use wet palettes, and I decided, you know, to use one of my wet palettes, and this is actually one of my newest ones. So I decided to try to use that today. They have quite a different sponge than what I've been using. A thicker memory foam sponge. Usually use those thin ones that grow, but this is the Exemplar Game Envy. The Game Envy Exemplar wet paint palette, and it's actually pretty nice. It actually has a tool set. For some reason, it has a plastic palette. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do with that, but it does have a seal. So I'm like, oh, these are expensive paints. I like something to keep them if I don't use them all in one go. So here we go. So I've got my thing. I've put some gunk. Oh, sorry, that's not gunk. I have some gunk ready to go. I'm actually getting low on gunk and need to mix up more. But I have some in my palette. I put some Oxgall in my water cups, and I have a clean water cup as well. What are you working at? You want to know what you're playing? You know, having at least 3 water cups ready to go. Always good practice, along with your sprays and drippers and other squeeze bottles. So I think I'm pretty good to go. We're gonna get all of these set up. So I guess I'll start. Alright, I'm just checking this. I have no idea how well this palette is going to work. This is my first time. The sponge is really weird. But you can hear Mochi is going to town over there. She's trying to get Quibble to play with her, who's busy chewing up a toy. So that noise, that weird squeaky noise, is my little dog being weird. But let's start with figuring out what order I'm going to do these in. I guess we'll start here. So my old book that I've been going through the exercises on is like really likes these. Really like these back in the 80s, so I don't know. But I guess we'll start here and so just to look at these, it's kind of what the tubes look like. You can see there's some opacity information there. Pigments. Let's see if you can. There you go. The pigment on there. This is carmine. But yeah, there's a little bit of opacity information. Not really too much else. Back. Found a pen. So let's get these labeled so I can start swatching these out. 매일 너를 생각해 심지어 꿈에서도 난 너의 미소를 떠올려 생생하게 느꼈던 너의 손길 속 난 It's the reason I'm dreaming 잊을만 하면 날 찾아오는 기억 너의 목소리를 숨겨 어김없이 헤어나올 수 없는 걸 너라는 미로 You and So I've been turning these over, and this is the first one that has a giant red X on it. Let's see if you can see that. Harmful. Contains soluble copper. Keep out of reach of children. Soluble copper, PBK1.
In my dreams, lost in you every night. In my dreams, trying to find you every night. In my dreams.
So one of the reasons that I've learned to list out pigment colors on these, which I wish I did with all my other swatches, but I've started to learn as I've mix colors and keeping track of that kind of thing, is that you find that when you have a straight pigment, they're going to mix in a different way than if something that has multiple pigments in it. So for example, if I were to take this sky blue and mix it with deep yellow, I might not get exactly what I expect. I might get a very dark green. I might get a very off blue, because with PB15 and PG7 in it, it's gonna not give me a direct green. So it's something to keep in mind that different pigments work differently, and the more pigments are in there, the more muddy it could become if you try to mix it. Which is odd. This pressure blue is like a bunch of different ones. Anyway, so just something to keep in mind. It's part of experimenting. Which, when I started these, I was doing those color wheels and having a hard time getting purple. Well, what I learned is that you don't have a good direct way to get purple in those because of what pigments are in them, and that was a lesson learned. So that's why you end up buying a purple instead of trying to mix a purple. The other thing about these, the book that I have claims that the Holbein ones are going to not change color when they dry like regular gouache does, or like other acrylic gouache apparently does, because they use this crystal clear. But these all say emulsion, and he claims they didn't use an emulsion. I mean, he's very clear about that. So I'm not sure. They use like a clear resin. I don't know if they still do that. Maybe they changed their formula since then. It's hard to say. So what's funny is a lot of these pigments I'm recognizing from some of the colors up here. Like this is straight PG7 with titanium white. PG7's in their light green and in their regular green and their viridians. So they're very much derivative colors in these sets, which are a little bit different from the straight colors you get in the regular gouache. So right here, this light green, pale mint is basically a light green with titanium white mixed in. It almost would be interesting to see if I could get this same color if I took light green and mixed some titanium white in. But you don't know the proportions, so it's hard to tell until you try it, I guess. So they're magenta, which is BR1, BB7, 11, and 15. That doesn't even, these is actually, their light magenta is PR170, carmine, with some white added. Alright, So I didn't know if you used the PBK one. I think it's the only one I've ever had. So just in case, because we've had the warning, started using this barrier cream when I paint. I just rub it on. One of the things that's really funny you tend to learn as a paint is like you start painting on your skin to do stuff, and that's actually a really bad idea, and I like to rub it on the back in case I get stuff on me. Don't paint on your skin to test colors. Just don't. Use scrap paper, use a palette. There's a reason why they make colored palettes. Do that. But you don't need a ton. It just keeps this just keeps your skin from absorbing it. A lot of people will wear gloves. But it also doesn't come off easily. You need soap and water to get off. It's not sticky at all. It does make your hands feel a little bit weird, like there's like a layer of something on them, which that's what there is. There is a layer of something on them. So. Alright, so first impressions, it's weird. It kind of reminds me of the opaque watercolors in that it kind of pulls away, it's not quite too sticky, it's really thin, almost ink-like. And see, it's not very opaque. I definitely have some strong opinions about whatever's printed on this page. As you can see, it pulls away from that. For the parts that are opaque, where it didn't pull away, like we got down here with the white was really mixed in, and the blacks and grays made it more opaque. But the colors are really bright and pretty, so it'll be interesting to try to paint with these and see how it goes. That's what we're going to do.